Movie number 1 is called The Black Hole. In the opening scene of the first movie, we are introduced to a guy named Charlie who is working alone at his office during the night shift. His facial expression clearly reflects his discontent with the mundane nature of his job. In one instance, Charlie is seen photocopying some of the office documents, but the photocopy machine does not appear to be functioning well. As a result of this, he presses the button repeatedly and even resorts to kicking the machine. A short while later, a sheet of A4 sized paper comes out of the machine with just a large black circle drawn on it. This only intensifies his frustration as he believes that something is wrong with the machine. He puts the A4 sized paper aside and tries checking for any flaws in the machine, but finds none. Feeling tired, Charlie takes a sip of his coffee and places the cup on top of the paper. In an unexpected turn of events, the cup falls through the black hole on the paper, leaving him in utter shock. He then slowly puts his hand into the circle, which actually looks like a hole, and retrieves his coffee cup. At this point, Charlie realizes that this black hole acts like a portal, enabling one to reach inaccessible objects beyond any kind of barrier. Excited by this revelation, he decides to conduct several experiments with it. At first, he places the paper on the vending machine and puts his hand inside, stealing his favorite chocolates. Realizing that he can go much further than that, he quickly goes to the locker room and places the A4 paper on one of the lockers. He then reaches his hand inside and starts to steal the stacks of money from there. As his greed intensifies, he tries to delve deeper into the portal for more money. Eventually, he crawls entirely inside, after which the paper slips and falls off the locker, thus trapping his greedy little raccoon ass within. Second movie, Exit Strategy. At the start of the second film, a fireman, Matt, goes to meet with his younger brother Shane at a restaurant. As Matt strikes a conversation, Shane surprisingly completes each of his sentences before he does. Moreover, he instructs him to go to ESPN livestream and watch a football match between Liverpool and Manchester United. Shane then predicts the exact time when a player, Roberto Firmino, will score the first goal. When the event transpires, Matt is left bewildered. In the midst of their conversation, Shane's watch alarm rings, and he emphasizes that they have to leave right now. As they drive away, Shane explains that a fire will break out in the forest of Pines Road this afternoon, so they must get there and stop it before it happens. Perplexed, Matt questions how he knows about all of these future events, to which Shane reveals that he has been trapped in a time loop and has been living the same day for a long time now. He then predicts that the car's tire will blow in a few seconds, and it soon does. As a result, they pull over on the side of the road and start replacing the tire. Matt is still confused as he is not able to comprehend the ongoing situation, but he trusts his brother despite meeting him after 4 years. After a while of driving, the two arrive at the forest path, but their way is blocked by a barricade and a guard. Matt suggests breaking through it, but Shane replies that they have tried that before, which resulted in a fatal crash. In a bid to try something new, Shane approaches the guard and informs him that he has found his missing dog. He also provides him with an address, making the dog owner happy. The guard then leaves to retrieve his pet, while the two brothers make their way into the forest on foot. Matt wonders if it was hard for him to find that missing dog, to which Shane responds that he was the one who abducted it. After some time, the duo comes across a group of little girls playing with fire. Matt quickly blows out the flame and instructs the children to go back home. He is glad that the potential forest fire has now been averted. However, his assumption proves to be wrong when he receives an emergency message on his pager, alerting him to a fire in the city. Upon hearing this news, Matt realizes that his brother deliberately brought him here to distract him from the actual fire incident. Upon demanding an explanation, Shane finally admits that he has been reliving this loop in an attempt to save Matt from the city fire. He claims that they tried to stop it hundreds of times, but in each instance, Matt ended up dead. Even when he managed to rescue a few people, he would never make it out alive. As a result of this, Shane started looking for another exit to the maze, away from the fire. He goes on to say that he spent several days searching for locations, calibrating the shortest safe distance away, and found this one. This revelation infuriates Matt, and he shouts that he does not have to save him because it is his responsibility as a firefighter to save people. He also asserts that he does not care about the time loop, and that the only reason he accompanied him is because he wanted to spend time with his brother. After this heated argument, Matt asks for the car keys to drive back to save people's lives, but Shane throws them away. He then tries to stop his brother, but accidentally pushes him. This causes Matt to hit his head on a pointed piece of wood and die on the spot. Shane is devastated that his brother again met with the same fate despite his foolproof plan, ultimately making him realize that he can't escape this maze. The scene then cuts to another timeline, and we see the two brothers meet in the same restaurant as before. This time, Shane does not act smart and just listens to his brother without any interference. Shortly after, his watch alarm rings, but he dismisses it, choosing to spend quality time with his brother without the burden of the time loop. Movie 3, Laboratory Condition. The third movie opens with a physician, Emma Holloway, who discovers that one of her patients has gone missing from the hospital ward. Puzzled, she inquires about it to the front desk, but doesn't find any clues. Shortly after, one of the staff members tells her that the patient has passed away, leaving her bewildered. Tension heightens when another staff member reveals that the morgue hasn't received the body yet. Emma then orders the staff to search the entire hospital while she walks outside to light up a cigarette. During this moment, she notices an ambulance driving away, making her suspicious. As a result, she tails it in her car, leading her to a secret lab facility. She cautiously makes her way inside, where she witnesses her patient being escorted into a room. Emma then confronts one of the workers, Robbins, demanding her patient back. As they get into an argument, the head of the laboratory, Marjorie Kane, intervenes. She introduces herself as the chair of the Graduate School of Neuroscience, and also explains that they are carrying out an experiment to prove the existence of the soul. She believes that the soul is a physical entity that can be extracted from the human body. What an idiot. Robbins further guides Emma through the chamber, explaining its intricate details. He highlights their capability to detect and measure any force entering or exiting the chamber. Turns out that the chamber functions almost like an atomic net, preventing even microscopic entities like light and air from passing through. Marjorie then requests Emma to support them in their experiment and help prove their hypothesis. Despite her initial hesitation, Emma eventually agrees. Shortly after, a young lab worker, Alice, shows up at the scene with Emma's patient, who appears to be in critical condition. Seeing this, Emma insists on transferring the elderly patient to the ICU, but Marjorie shows her his medical report, pointing out that he won't survive much longer. As a result, she asks for Emma's permission to conduct the experiment on the old man and study his dying process. In order to convince her, Marjorie asserts that her patient's death can hold great significance in their laboratory rather than in the hospital. With the final consent of Emma, the patient is sent to a highly secured testing chamber. As the experiment commences, the team observes it through a large glass window outside. Not long after, the patient's health begins to deteriorate, causing their systems and sensors to start beeping. Following this, the laboratory personnel rush to their desks to closely analyze the dying process. Emma appears to be concerned for her patient, but she can only watch helplessly. The old man then struggles for some time before ultimately passing away. A short while later, Emma experiences a vision of the patient's soul wandering within the secure chamber. She tries to alert everyone about it, but nobody else can see it. Just then, Dan, another worker in the lab, notices some kind of force attempting to enter the chamber and promptly shares the readings with the team. While the crew are behind the monitor, Emma walks closer to the glass chamber and witnesses the frightened soul desperately attempting to make its way out. The soul even pleads with Emma for help, which makes her feel very bad. Unable to continue the experiment any longer, she quickly turns off the power supply of the entire lab and unlocks the chamber door, finally releasing the old man's soul. The other staff members rush to stop her, but they are already too late. As soon as they restore the electricity, Robbins and Dan feel a strange sensation within their bodies. Robbins describes it as malevolent, while Dan labels it as evil. Curious, Marjorie wants to feel the same, so she instructs Robbins to open the chamber's door. She has decided to enter the place herself. Before doing so, Robbins asks Emma if she sees anything inside. When the latter takes a look, she notices several horrifying souls, including those of animals and a young girl with a child. The girl signals Emma to keep quiet and not reveal their presence. Heeding her request, Emma denies seeing anyone inside and gives him the green light to open the door, eager to witness what unfolds next. Movie 4, Other Side of the box. At the beginning of the fourth movie, we see a couple, Ben and Rachel, who are cooking dinner together and flirting simultaneously. Their romantic moment is abruptly interrupted by a ring at the door. As Ben peeps through the window, he notices that it is their old friend, Sean. Rachel does not want to see him, revealing that they share a bad history. As a result, she walks inside the bedroom. While Ben invites him in, we see that Sean is holding a gift box, which he hands to Ben. Believing that he is doing this to apologize for what happened in the past, Ben accepts it. After a while of awkward conversation, Sean asks him if Rachel is at home. However, Ben does not want him to meet her, so he lies, saying that she went to her parents' house. Following this, Sean insists Ben open the box right away. The latter agrees and opens it to find nothing but absolute dark void. Before Ben can ask about the details, Sean hurriedly leaves the place, apologizing to him repeatedly. Left in a confused state, Ben grabs a flashlight and uses it to look into the void, but its light also fails to penetrate the darkness. He then takes a pencil and drops it inside the box, but there is no sound of the pencil hitting the bottom. Curious, Ben tries to put his hand inside, but is stopped by his girlfriend. Just then, Ben recalls a letter that was attached to the present box. In it, Sean has warned him not to divert his gaze from the box. He also apologizes for giving it to him, citing his lack of choice. While trying to comprehend the meaning of the letter, the pencil that he had dropped rolls towards his feet. Ben picks it up, and then as he turns his gaze back to the box, he is startled by the sight of a creepy half-head coming out from the box. They try talking to the mysterious man, but the guy doesn't speak a word. Ben slowly moves to reach his phone, but the man keeps his gaze fixated on him. He then dials Sean's number, but the latter does not pick up the call. After numerous failed attempts, Ben suggests that they run away from the house, but Rachel reminds him that they aren't supposed to avert their eyes from the unsettling man. Shortly after, she comes up with an idea, and the pair decide to look away for 3 seconds to check its consequences. When they turn their sight back, they see the man's 2 hands clutching onto the box's edge, appearing as if he is attempting to climb out. Sensing the imminent danger, Ben asks his girlfriend to keep watch over the box while he decides to go out in search of Sean. Rachel is clearly terrified, since she doesn't want to be left alone with this eerie figure. However, Ben somehow manages to convince her and hands her a kitchen knife before leaving. On the way, he calls his friend again and finally receives an answer this time. Sean freaks out upon learning that he has left the box at home with Rachel. He states that he had given the box to Ben and that he was the one who had to keep an eye on it, not Rachel. Hearing this, Ben is concerned about his girlfriend's safety, so he rushes back home, disregarding Sean's warning. Upon arrival, he finds the house shrouded in darkness and disarray, with no sign of his girlfriend. Just then, he hears some sound emanating from the basement, prompting him to head down there with a flashlight. He cautiously descends the stairs and notices the creepy man taking a shower there. In a blink of an eye, the man vanishes, which scares Ben's heart out. He proceeds to escape upstairs, only to discover that the basement door is blocked by some shadowy figures. These figures also follow the same pattern of the creepy man and move when they are not being looked at. The situation further intensifies when Ben sees the creepy man on the other side. Now, Ben is trapped, as turning towards one side attracts the mysterious entity from the other side. Unable to keep his eyes on both sides simultaneously, these eerie figures get closer, turn by turn by turn, and the lights abruptly go out. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.